we're going to be doing some Mythgard, but before getting into the actual game, actually, since last Saturday was the end of season qualifier, I did not stream then. Game on Saturday. I did record just over screen capture, so I was thinking we could go over that. It's just sort of a post-mortem on the whole event, get a feel for where I can improve. Interesting. Seems there's no audio. Yeah, there's audio monitoring in Streamlabs, so just like pause this real quick. Get song requests started up, so we have some form of audio beyond just my voice and any background noise that's coming in through my mic. Alright. This is a trimmed down version of the footage that I actually have, because that's like 5 or 6 hours long. Meanwhile, by just trimming it down to mostly just when I was actually playing the game, plus little segments like this of just waiting for my actual match to start. So unfortunately, I didn't entirely know what I was doing as far as the tournament interface. Probably should have cut this part out in all honesty. But oh well, it's here. Yeah, I didn't for instance fully understand that when it said on deck, it didn't mean on deck selection. It meant as in you were up next. Fortunately, some of the coverage for the event kind of ended up clarifying that for me, because they talked about how, like, you get kind of, how, like, the tournament and mechanics aren't set up in such a way that there's actually a way for them to set it all of the matches to go all at once. And currently, that's kind of an improvement that they're planning on implementing, I guess. Can skip forwards a little bit. Here we go. Now I've got into like the actual we're close to the actual game. So, like they seem to be playing mostly like aggro, so I just banned the one that seemed like it would be the most trouble. Naturally, since they were playing aggro, they went for the one control deck I brought. Because I tried to bring like something for every sort of basic archetype, you know, mid-range, into aggro, control. So, you know, start out with mid-range because that's usually, I feel like that's usually somewhat better than, because at least mid-range doesn't have to train to out-aggro in order to win. Well, admittedly, this particular deck is kind of on the aggressive end anyway. Because, like, I mean, it is red and orange. But, you know, I was trying to have both a variety of archetypes and not double up on it on colors so that every deck would have the full selection of cards within its color available. But, you know, I also had to switch up one of the powers because you can only have one deck for every power in pathway, so yeah, I brought in the boys are back in town to kill you and bust your kneecaps, so I had to pick one of the two to actually receive the erode power. This is the moment when I kind of messed up because I forgot that before the Riot Tricks' trigger whole ability only lasts until sunrise. So that was kind of a lesson I learned. Yeah, like, you know, they were able to literally just be like, oh, right tricks are triggered here, so it can't trigger over there. Honestly, I probably should have Halcyon non-decreed here. Then again, I mean, either one could have worked. Because, like, the main effect it would have on that particular minion, and right there, yeah, like, had I known Yara was coming, I probably would have Halcyon undecreed to save my decree for Yara. But like, I at most knew she was in the deck somewhere. Or from, you know, going over the deck list. You know, also kind of further gave me trouble in that, you know, I couldn't... I didn't have the mana to be able to actually do the other option that I could have done to deal with the RS, so... Again, like, probably should have Halcyon Decreed. But then again, you have that +1 on health can also be kind of a major nuisance as well. This was an okay move, because, like, you know, put plenty in Yar's way. You know, it kept her from going in for the kill. Oh, that turn. But then, yeah, they were able to bring in... They were able to bring in a rush minion and just destroy me. Here I decided to try and change things up. This was before I even understood that, like, winning decks also get automatically banned from the match. It's like I didn't yet understand the strategy of, like, playing around you know, being able to know exactly what deck your opponent is bringing for one match. Like, honestly, I don't know why I went with the aggro, because, like, again, you know, I thought they actually had a choice in what deck they brought, so, you know, that's kind of part of why I decided to change things up, in hopes that maybe that they would pick something that's specifically good against the deck that I was playing before. Then again, they only, even if they had all the available options available to them, then for the second match, you know, they only had 2 decks. So, like, I guess what I was hoping for was that this deck would somehow be better against the deck they were playing before, and they would stick with the deck they had been playing. But, you know, that's not even an option because of the conquest rules. Like, honestly, I did pretty well, at least initially. Like, this is a very good setup of right now. Yeah, three Volkov troops and the means of killing anything that gets in the way. Fantastic. Let's hope that they didn't mess us up. Yeah, I was having to use a different power than usual over this deck, which kinda put a damper on the carom shots. And then this is where everything went wrong. I kinda just like tried to draw some cards. Or to do literally anything to help myself in this situation. Like that. There wasn't a lot that could be done, ultimately. Like, again, that lack of being able to just give enemy minions fragile on command, and like on demand, and really put a damper on this whole deck's playstyle when it comes to the whole carom shot thing. Because, you know, I probably could have killed like 2 vampires. I've been able to just make, well, maybe not, because it didn't have the right kind of carom shot anyway. Here I am once again just trying to clog up the board, or to having it be completely ineffective. Like, honestly, board clogging is such a desperate play that, like, the match is probably a lost cause if you're having to resort to that as your primary strategy. Which I did my best to cut, you know, a lot of the sort of filler as a result of and it resulted from the time in between matches. Yep, see, there we go. Because, you know, like I said, I can check right now exactly how much raw footage I have. See. Yeah, I've got... Yeah, sorry, it was the 5.5 hours of raw footage. Like, this deck actually did decently well. Like, granted, its best performance is still upcoming. Yeah, this definitely was not this particular deck's best performance. Honestly, might... Like, I feel like the Drowned Observatories were kind of a... half the time were just kind of a do-nothing card in this deck, so I might actually replace those with something else. Like, they just don't really do enough by themselves to really justify their inclusion. You know, maybe if I was doing a more sort of grandiose, most cultist-centric strategy, then they'd probably be a bit better. Like, this deck is pretty much just mid-range. You know, I just sort of just threw together good red and orange cards, honestly. At least, you know, if that guy could have lasted a turn, I could have steroid Hades and they made him a much more effective blocker. Like, you know, honestly, I might have actually been able to do something pretty good by just putting out 2 brain-bound believers rather than trying to do anything with that guy. Then, you know, probably would have at most just changed which 2 minions got absolutely murdered. Yeah, I tried it again. Then again, this is the point in which I knew that they weren't playing that deck again. And because it had already won. You know, this deck also doesn't do super well against... This is the one deck they had left anyway, so... least I used, you know, some, at least somewhat effective Halcyon decrees. You know, just completely shut down. Or at least I thought I had shut it down, because I'm pretty sure, I feel like it was able to actually deal some damage through an ability instead. There we go again with the Sinking Guard. Like, that ended up being largely ineffective because this was Swift. You probably should have just positioned it one lane to the left, not to the left, to the right. If I'd done, because like, if I'd done that, then the dog would have had nowhere to run, and there's no point in blocking a minion that doesn't have any power anyway. That's right here, probably could have Halcyon decreed. That's why did I move that guy to that side? Like, again, the dog is actually useful to my opponent is on the right side. I could have at least, you know, I could have corrected my previous mistake if I just moved him one lane to the right that turn. Well, I mean, it ended up providing a good block for Junkyard Valhalla. You know, that made that lane a very good spot for Hecate's wheel, well, at least. Or really, you know, which actually, no, only in his original spot. It has to be across from the lane, across from either the lane with the Junkyard Valhalla in it, or adjacent, or you know, it has to be, you know, it has to be threatening the Junkyard Valhalla in order for it to do its thing to it. you know, having just like solid, having just some like solid word minions was definitely good. You know, minions that they couldn't really do a lot of tricks to get rid of. I also want to try and put some more Hecate's wheels into the deck. Since that way, because like if I'd had another Hecate's wheel, I could have put it down underneath the Sanctum Guardian, and I probably could have turned things around then. And since I would have taken away, gotten rid of the fragile, it would have taken away the buff from the giant stairway. You know, fortunately, they were able to get Junkard Valhalla activation during most of the time. When I lose, it tends to just be that, like, my opponent managed to draw a very good card that fixed the whole situation for them. You know, again, it's one of the benefits to having minions that they can't do a whole lot about, other than attacking them directly. And this, well, oh yeah, I think what happened, oh yeah, what happened that caused me to lose this match was they got, you know, a whole bunch of reinforcements, basically. I think I actually want to turn up the audio output volume for this. This particular song is pretty quiet. And this is where I was, looking over my opponent's decks. I think before it was time to actually choose one to ban. Well, look. My two previous opponents ended up squaring off against each other. And ended up banning the blue and purple one because it seemed like it was going to be the most trouble for me. Yeah, I think it seemed like glitched out or something in here. Or at the very least, I just got very confused by the interface. Alright, I think I need to turn the output volume back down again. Because we're no longer listening to Clear Alone, so it's much louder. Like, I feel like it was supposed to just automatically go away. But yeah, this match was kind of odd because, like, my opponent never banned any decks. So, like, I was able to just pick whatever I wanted. I didn't realize you could just not ban a deck. I kind of figured that, like, if you didn't select one to ban, then it would just, count you as a no-show or something. Maybe you get, because you didn't send any input that registered, but I guess not. Either that or this is the result of a glitch. And, like, I was definitely supposed to have a deck that was banned. you know. Again, presumably, you know, I was supposed to, like, it's entirely possible they had selected a deck to be banned, but then maybe they just didn't click the button. And to actually have it go through. Again, I would think that clicking the button would be, you know, a way to confirm they're actually going to be playing in the match. And it's essentially... And you up that down. So this deck did pretty well when I was able to play it. Which, I mean, the number of times it got banned, it's a pretty strong indicator that it's pretty good. Because, like, you know, your deck must be pretty strong if everybody seems to be afraid to play against it. You know, if that's seemingly everybody's go-to pick for a deck of yours to not have to play against, it's probably a good deck. Or at the very least, it's very, very annoying. And to the point that people just, like, refuse to play against it. Which, you know, with things like these, it's, you know, it actually does pretty well. You know, they just sort of popped that in my way, but, like, it does absolutely nothing. Hitting against a minion that doesn't take retaliatory damage. So he did, you know, lead one of the Shinobis astray, but then, you know, I just straight up had another Shinobi. It's a, you know, again, this is probably one of the better decks I brought because, like, you know, there's clearly a reason pretty much everybody banned it as soon as they had the chance, except for this one poor person that either failed to or didn't get a chance to burn chance to ban anything. Then out of the 3 decks that I brought. You know, at least then again, you know, you kind of need at least 2 good decks to win. So like, even if they weren't banning it constantly, this deck could only do so much to any given opponent. Like, clearly, one thing I need to work on is getting my other decks to be on the same like level as this one. Honestly, I'm not even sure why Born in Cruelty that, you know, it could have just as easily swung out with the Shinobi. You see, like, I want to say they switched decks after the first match. Managed the other deck they had available, and even though, like, nothing was making them do that, other than maybe the belief that maybe this deck would do better. You know, like, honestly, not a lot of interest happens in this particular matchup. Honestly, I probably could have actually, like, trimmed this video down even more if I had just cut it down to just, like, the most sort of choice plays on either side, or something. you know, just like picked out whatever would actually be like insightful, to look at, rather than going over every match I played. Actually, I think this is the same deck. Only I was forced to switch decks because I had actually won. And I was able to just eliminate all of those real quick. He just didn't really get a lot of opportunities to really fight back in this entire match. Like, I guess they were able to slow me down a little bit by maybe taking away, by like putting virulent strains into my deck. But then I kinda, some very good things happened for me. I was able to, for instance, just Seal of Exile that without even having, not even have to deal with. Then, end of turn, got Skyla of Dire Strait. Yeah, I was sitting on this virulent strain the entire time, hoping for an opportunity to actually use Skyla's activated ability. And that chance just never came, because they were already just top decking the entire time, and had been for a while. Which, I mean, they had even more incentive to do something with each card that they drew, because that way they wouldn't have to discard it. And it looks like I cut out the banning phase for this match, so I'm not even entirely sure what decks they had. Like, I also probably could have also cut this part out of just waiting for my opponent to take their turn. Again, that would have been a pro of going for just like the most interesting plays, rather than just sort of watching over entire matches. Because, sometimes there can just be a point where there's not a lot happening. It's, you know, kind of dull to watch. You know, a lot of this ended up being just like me on damage control pretty much immediately, which I think one thing I might do is cut out the Aether Engineers, because like honestly half the time they either do nothing or provide a lot of just a whole bunch of Windmore cards, because like, you know, sure, I get it. None of these cards that can heal and buff constructs. But when the deck is doing well, I hardly even need the constructs. Because there's like 3 in the entire deck. And so like, you know, the deck, like a good portion of the time, those constructs are just a backup plan for if I don't manage to shut down the game anywhere early on with just pure aggression. And that right there was just a strategic mistake, because I didn't consider their ability to just move that over. Because like, if I'd been able, maybe like, yeah, I could have done a lot more in this situation if I had been able to actually keep the Vedma Steel Shaper. Hello? Yeah, this line of play was kind of promising. You know, I actually, you know, cleared out a good chunk of their stuff. You know, I also didn't have a whole lot to work with at that point. You know, for instance, it probably could have done a lot more if I'd gone a second yellow. And then, you know, just one rush minion, and it was pretty much all over. Yeah, that's kind of one of the pitfalls of relying on just any one minion that doesn't have, like, particularly against red, any one minion that's not decently He like high on health. Yeah, I'd switch decks and hopes that maybe this deck would perform a bit better. But yeah, they couldn't bring in the same deck they had before. I think I'm gonna be right back. Feeling kind of tired today for whatever reason. Probably didn't get enough sleep last night, so I'm gonna grab something to drink and try and wake up a bit more. I'm back. For some reason. There we go. Here's. Oh no. Guess I shouldn't have put a BRB up, but, you know. Alright, so that's roughly where we left off. So apparently, yeah, lesson learned, I guess. If you have a video source, you have a video source on the scene, don't leave the scene and come back to it unless you want to start the video all over again. Much like previous match, to take them a minute to get their first turn started. Honestly, I guess Arcane Decree wouldn't be useful at that exact moment because, you know, I kind of needed to, you know, suppressing honestly, I kind of wonder if I might have wasted that seal. Because, like, I probably could have dealt with, not with her, but with, like, Shackle or a Blade Dancer or something. Because, like, I mean, Shackle locks the target's strength at 0. And then I could have saved, you know, I could have saved the seal for something that, you know, they, for instance, have multiple copies of. Or something they can't deal with it any other way than banishment or shackling. Then again, I mean, I did also use Shackle effectively to deal with that big thing. Plus, I'm pretty sure I've only got, like, the one copy of it in the entire deck, so no guarantees I'd actually even draw it. Like, even less so than any other card. Or since most of the cards in the deck, I at least have multiple copies of them. I'm pretty sure Shackle is a one-off in this deck. that just sort of got demolished. Just out of nowhere. I kind of thought that maybe I would get at least one more turn. But nope. Just got flattened. And this... I kind of got confused by this as well, because... it was like... for some reason there was no timer displayed. Like there had been in literally every other round. And so like... He you know... This is pretty much the first opponent other than Solo that actually banned something other than control, weirdly enough. It's like this was pretty much the second chance I had to actually use Buster Kneecaps in this entire tournament. Because just about everybody banned it. But then again, I kept running against a lot of people playing primarily aggro, so that's probably part of why. Yeah, I was able to just drop one of these in. Why did I do that? I could have just burned that and X-Manned instead. Like what? Like why did I even bother with the foot soldiers? Well, I guess it kind of worked out because you know, it got the foot soldiers out, and I just turned around and brought in the Axeman again, in a later turn anyway. Looks like there's a slight visual error on my overlay that I'm gonna have to fix. Because the text shouldn't be able to just... you know, sit and just go completely outside of the box. Did I... No, I did not do what in retrospect could have been a real smart move, and just like burned one enchantment, played the other, and buffed. Oh, but wait. That actually wouldn't have worked. Wait, no. I could have made it work. Because as much as it would have replaced the enchantment given living Zolia fragile, I would have had the mana to make her fragile again regardless. So I actually could have done a better move there by burning an Arctic Pyre and then using it as a buff as opposed to a source for another minion. And then, the Volkov Brigade arrived. I don't think I could have done the buff trick that I was just talking about then. Now they're able to just bring in the whole squad. Just all the boys. With my main option to really do a whole lot. Just being like, give them fragile where all in the one gap. And set up to slay their ship. Then again, because they all had region 2, at the very least, that Shinobi wouldn't be able to do a whole lot by itself. I don't think. Actually, Actually, no, because I gave it. I gave the ship Fragile 3. So. This was an excellent play right here. It was able to deal with a decent chunk of their entire board. Then, they had plenty of ways to just build their board right back up. It's too bad that I didn't keep that jaunt. Because if I had, then I could have. The Shinobi could have actually kept pace with ship. Because like the whole problem was I was jumping around to its own teleportability, making it pretty much impossible for me to really do much of anything about it. I think I need to turn the output volume down a little bit. See, like, at least I got something of some use. It was too much, it was too little too late at that point, but it was something. Well, that was interesting. There was a bit of a lag spike or something. I figured that, you know, pretty much all the decks that they had, I figured they were playing more aggro, so just brought in control again and hoped for the best. You know, it started out pretty well. And, you know, they were able to just, like, do some, like, simple maneuvering. At least they'd, you know, made just like a mistake. I could have made use of that 1 point of damage somehow. Probably actually should have saved, you know, that whole Fragile 3 thing. At the same time, like, because, like, if I'd been able to give that Fragile 3, oh well, I mean, they healed it, so probably actually wouldn't have been able to do a whole lot with just giving it Fragile 3. Honestly, part of what went wrong here is that I didn't get a lot of my stuff that I used to give things fragile. No, it's like, you know, wasn't even necessarily like it wasn't even necessarily like played poorly so much as I didn't get the cards to play well. So this is the final match that I ended up playing because as much as there were 7 rounds, I opted to just not participate in the 7th round because I ended up in a position where I couldn't get into the top 32, so I wouldn't get, you know, a prize or anything anyway. Once again, I'd say like maybe like Orange Red is sort of a runner-up as far as, you know, my best deck in the entire event. Because like it was pretty much always one of those 2 decks that got banned by my opponent. Like pretty much none of them were like intimidated enough by, hey, the boys are back in town to kill you, they were to ban it. It's like, and clearly I'd say that's probably the deck based on, you know, what my opponents ended up banning the most. I'd say maybe the boys are back in town to kill you is probably the deck that needs the most work. Just judging by, you know, sort of my opponents don't want to play against this factor of the other 2. Their decks I brought to this event. Yeah, maybe I should convert it into like maybe a full-on alliance deck. You know, throw some orange in there or something. Also, I should have jaunted right here because, like, you know, I had the mana, I I definitely had the means to get that guy out of there, but then I didn't. And I ended up paying for it. Well, I mean, it changed nothing anyway, because all of my minions just ended up dying to a thunderclap, so... Hey, I was able to thunderclap right back. Now you can kill all of their minions too. Just they had a more immediate way of getting at least one more minion. And I think the reason why I didn't end up having any audio from the actual game for this is probably because, you know, I was using my regular setup, so I just didn't turn on the audio input capture for the game or something. I guess it's... yeah, it's because I didn't turn the game volume on. Which, I mean, I didn't even have any headphones plugged into my computer. Because usually when I'm just playing something off stream, I listen to like Spotify or something on my phone. In fact, good portion of the time, and for this particular event, I was watching the live coverage on my phone and through the Twitch app, so like this right here was a pretty solid play, honestly. Like, you know, give that particular minion and a grand total of a little 4 fragile, and got the shinobi of the danger zone. The shinobi ended up just getting hit with blight anyway, so And then I was able to do that. Turn around and do that, and that was a real good move. Like that did some stuff. Because like it took out 2 pretty strong minions in 1 turn. But then they just played that thing, and I just so happened to cease to have any way to do much of anything past that point. Like, I mean, I was able to fork lightning. That was something. Yeah, the shinobi can't deal damage, so... Yeah, I also kind of just got demolished right there. Wow, I either cut this wonky or this was a very quick match at the very end. Because this was only 3.5 minutes left of the entire recording. Which from the looks of it, you know, my options were pretty limited, so probably that it just didn't last very long. Hey, at least, you know, we're almost done watching through all of this, so... we can get into the game soon for the next, like, hour. I think this is why, you know, this match didn't last more than a few minutes. I mean, one more for who's that? Clearly, either cut things wonky or... Well, they've got lethal, so... Yeah, it was just a very quick match. Especially when you throw in just absolute overkill. Alright. I can just cut that out of the scene because I don't really need that again after this, so... Now to get the actual game started up. So you can play that for the next... like... maybe... hour and 10 minutes. Which honestly, like, I was kind of thinking today's stream will probably focus mostly on like deck building and just like, you know, going over some adjustments to the decks I played in the tournament, see where they can be improved. I do have a deck that I've been tinkering around with for an improved version of the boys are back in town to kill you. It swaps out the engineers for a couple of verdant jungles, because that provides some more. That should provide some more utility to that provides some more yellow to draw and some more utility. Like it lets me maybe get to the constructs sooner so I can use them more often. Because, like, honestly, they actually aren't great in this deck at this point. Because, like, you know, a good portion of the time when this deck actually wins, it wins before it even has a chance to use the constructs. Because everything just goes so fast. From the Hellcarrier, Fricassect, then pass. So they're blue and purple. I'll just make sure that, okay, good, the game is, you know, capturing properly and everything. So you might want to, you know, I can just slide all their stuff over to the other side of the board. You know, just get it out of my way entirely, and just start slamming them with everything I've got. next turn I can probably bring in the Hetman. Yeah. Oh, and hey, there's one of the verdant jungles. Right now is maybe not the time. Yeah, throw those down. And hey, it actually won. But again, you know, it didn't get far enough along. Really... when you really use the constructs, like, you know, they're useful, like, it mostly uses them for late game utility as a way to just sort of turn things around when the game goes long. Genuinely, I kind of wonder if maybe, you know, I should go for something that's got like a similar body need to the engineer, because that way, you know, at least it provides an additional minion. And to cover that, spawn my lineup up as well. Got Verdant Jungle, gonna burn that for Thunderbird Egg. You know what? Circle of Protection and pass. Just to make it harder for them to do anything to the egg. Just gonna Trick-a-sec that. Then ping it for 1, and pass. Alright, go right ahead. Oh. Well, hey, at least I made it to where they had to expend 2 cards in order to be able to do their thing. But normally they'd be able to do it with just the 1. Right. Give a spy. And whack him for 4. Bringing in another one of those. Having to spend another banner on it just to get it. To be just to get it the power it needs. Needs to actually bring down its target. Gonna whack that with that again. So that's got potential to be a problem since it. Yeah, if this minion has more than 9 health, it gets +3, E+0 and overrun. That's not good. Oh, but wait. Oh, sunrise. You know what? I've got an orbital jamming satellite. Maybe they can use. Oh, but wait, that also takes away the -3 for as long as it remains suppressed. And then they're able to just heal it back up. Just gonna put those 2 things on that. Which lets me draw a card. Oh, now it gets its bonus. And of course, because they're playing yellow, they have to play Tren Juma and Tren Blanc. Gonna vicious cycle that to at least deal with one of them. You again doesn't really do a whole lot to suppress that because it loses its buff. It loses its penalty as well as its buff, so they just sort of counteract. You know what? I can get Blight. And of course, because it's one of those decks. Basically can't do anything without it. I mean, it's just been dragged over to get murdered by this guy. Honestly, it would be great if you could have minions that are like resistant to being repositioned. Unfortunately, that doesn't appear to be a thing currently. You know, maybe that's something that will be included in a later set or something. You know, it depends on how much of a problem these kinds of decks end up being. Into the health of the overall game, I guess. Still got, just under an hour. For my usual end of stream time. Burn head of the family and pass. Got some choppiness. Burn Arctic Pyre. Just throw down an Axeman and pass. Throw down another Axeman. Oh, but wait, it's still got armor, so that was actually kind of a waste. Actually, it's been better off burning something and then using brittle mass or something. Gonna burn that. We've got fragile, brittle blast, and pass. Let's see. Let's drop down on the Niflheim's claim. Burn Zen Archer. Zen Archer's pretty much guaranteed to just die as soon as they get. Like, I think I put it down. Turn that into a sheep. I'll put these down right here. You just kind of put some stuff in the way for one. And also, oh, but wait, they're able to just kill everything, so all that accomplished absolutely nothing. Fantastic. You know what? Boom. Still, nothing really comes of that. I have been also tinkering around with some new decks. Let me review what exactly this deck is even supposed to be doing. Oh right, it's Dual Flex Overrun. Let's give that a try. I don't believe I've actually tried it in ranked yet. So let's see how that goes, because, you know, the new ranked season only started yesterday. And then burn a Cradle of Life and pass. Burn Valkyrie Enforcer and pass. See what damage remains to threaten this, so I can actually burn Cradle of Life, place Dual Flex anywhere else, and he'll be safe from that effect at least. Now I can burn Might of Giants, kill that, and buff Dual Flex, and then pass. I think I'll probably just gonna bounce that, and since it was bounced rather than being killed, I'm gonna burn this extra Dual Flex. Since it was bounced rather than being killed, its dice trigger doesn't then even happen. Probably gonna Cradle of Life. Yeah, there we go. Now, you know, he's an 8-14. So short of giving him doing something deadly like that. We're just gonna kill that immediately. You know what? Slide Valkyrie and force it over one. Ooh. I could probably Sea Haven. And then they can't do those cheap shots with just one. Doesn't matter anymore because it's something too big for 2 points of armor to protect from, so might as well just kill it. The one way I can. I'll burn the Allfather's horn. Because it's not really something useful to me right now. I'm probably gonna Misanthropia because, like, you know, I have no minions, might as well take advantage of that. To be able to just kill all of their stuff instead. Now, clearly I'm not winning this match. So I have a clay effigy now. So that's pretty much just clogging up all of my lanes. And, you know, it can be used as a way to either force me into a chain for early on a virus. See, I have no immediate way to buff that. I think we're gonna burn Forked Lightning. Then you put another egg down elsewhere, just in case. Because, like, they probably do have intentions of buffing that bird. It's just that the means by which they can do that are not readily apparent. Or they could not. And it could just die. That's fine by me. You know, they were probably, they were maybe hoping to draw something and to buff that. And then, you know, they didn't. Let's see what I can do about Braggy. Get Insta Beast on the statue. Vicious Cycle does nothing for me. Just gonna keep making some aggressive moves. So it gives a minion and Blight 1 when dealing combat damage to it. But it's dead, so it doesn't matter. So it could very easily just have a misanthropia. Because, you know, they are in the color, and they have, you know, or, you know, they could go for Rosalia instead. Which, if that's all they're doing this turn, then I have just a very easy way to win. Didn't even get Dual Flex out. Right. Solid Stirring Hand. Probably gonna burn the Allfather's Horn. Then pass, because I don't have anything for up to 2 in a blue. I'm gonna just burn one of these. Leprechaun's Coin for Sea Haven. We're gonna just burn. I actually don't have a lot I can play this turn. I guess I can burn Bulwark for Nir's Daughter. It's like, you know, it gets armor 2 on the opponent's turn, so I'm gonna burn the Dual Flex and just kill whatever that is. Right, ping that. And it gets spirited away. You know what? Bring in Yara. And pass. So we've got 6 and a whole bunch of purple. Oh, don't like the looks of that. Just gonna ping and get spirit away. Burn a Thunderbird egg. Spirit away that. And then pass. They aren't going the full Kashinga Ninga strat. Because if they were, they would have erode or some other way of getting fragile onto my minions. Well, that's not great. They're just gonna... Just gonna bounce that out of here. Ooh, I can grab a Daigochu Supreme. I think Yara's probably gonna die soon. Especially since she doesn't even have armor anymore. Hey, can just bounce that back to their hand. Oh, that has agile as well. Oh, but it has to be from the boneyard. Well, apparently Yara doesn't get rid of the original copy. I could have sworn she did. Just gonna bounce that back. I probably not kind of demolition speedway because that requires more blue than I currently have. And that's dead. At least I get to draw a card. You know, Insta Beast could be useful. Maybe. Not really, because I don't even have a minion anymore. But Misanthropia sure will be. Just gonna burn the Sea Haven for the extra mana. Ow. Oh, and And it's got a way to just kill me. I think I might end a little bit early today. You know, probably just like, this will probably be like my last match for the day. From the Jaguar, Merlin Pass. Sea Burn, Demolition Speedway, Pass. Probably should have mended just to get the extra 1 point of life. You know, sure, I don't have anything to heal, but at least I can provide myself with a bit of a buffer for once the pain train starts rolling on my opponent's end. Just gonna kill that immediately before it can even become a problem. And a repeat performance of last turn. We're gonna bring in a dual flex, then I'll burn an insta beast and pass. Really, you're getting pretty cocky. Kill that. And heal some of the damage it did to me. Our next turn, I'll probably Sea Haven and Duo Flex. I'm gonna burn Ear's Daughter so you can Sea Haven and Duo Flex. So that way they'd have to be able to deal at least 3 damage. That accomplishes nothing because you failed to give it Fragile. Like, not, you know, just gonna bring in another Dual Flex. Really need some removal. That's probably a failing on the design of this deck, honestly. Well, at least I can deal with that. Just gonna buff up dual flex, heal some damage. At least dual flex has survived so far. Oh, some weird choppiness suddenly. Well, might as well do that. And pass. Don't think I'm gonna last much longer though. Because I'm not really getting any ways to dealing with the incoming damage. If only I could have dealt this damage direct to them a bit sooner. Which I actually almost had an opportunity. Yeah, your lightning does nothing. Well, it does what it's supposed to do, it just doesn't do it very well. Because, like, it needs some adjustment to help it keep from getting, like, swarmed. Let's see. Yeah, I've mostly got, like, 7 pieces of removal, and then some of it isn't even permanent. Like half of it. You know, is just a bounce rather than actual destruction. Rune of Denial could be good. This could Thunderclap. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I'm not sure I really have much use for Bulwark. Like, you know, it's not really that central to the strategy. You know, it's good to have a source of armor, but at the same time, like, when you throw on some ice spikes, that could at least deal with some lower end minions. I think that's actually where I'll call it for today. Thank y'all for watching. Next stream tomorrow with, I'm thinking, some AI dungeon. Let's see. Who's live with Mythgard right now? So let's see. I mean, honestly, I think once, you know, I think there's probably a limit to how much like I think it might change my usual rating to be like, rather than just whoever has the lowest number of viewers, to like just aim for somebody actually close to mine, because, you know, well, like I mean, the whole reason that I usually raid whoever has the lowest viewers in the same category is because that way, you know, I make the most difference. But when, for instance, there's only like 3 other people live, and both have substantially more viewers than you do, you're currently, you know, well, it doesn't really make much of a difference to raid any of them because they don't really need the help. It's none of my followers appear, so I think probably like at least, I'd say like within 10 viewers maybe will be the upper limit. Alright, none of my followers appear to be live, and the next lowest view count in the Mythgard herd category is that's speaking English, since, you know, I want to make sure that any raiders I send out will fully understand what's going on. Has more than 10 viewers on me, so I think I'm just gonna let AutoHost handle it from here. Thank you all once again for watching. Next Mythgard stream some Tuesday in the future. And next stream in general will be tomorrow around the same time with probably AI Dungeon.